A few days ago, I posted a link to a book I was reading called The Alpha Strategy. I'll post a link below in case you're interested in checking out a free PDF version of the book. In the book is a message that is so subtle, it is easy to gloss over it without the full impact of its significance sinking in. Well, I did the math and found something so surprising that I had to put together a video to share the result with you. Most of us have been conditioned by the investment industry to only buy as much stuff as we need short term so that we can invest our surplus money and thus come out ahead of the game. Let's put this to the test and see if it's good advice. Here, I've pictured something that I consume regularly. It's a scotch called the Black Grouse. And by the way, if you like scotch, I highly recommend that you try it. To the left is what most people would choose to buy. It's a 750 milliliter bottle priced at $23.99. For someone who enjoys a reasonable sized glass like I do each day, this sized bottle would last about 2 weeks. Priced per liter, this works out to about $32 per liter. On the right is a much larger 1.75 liter bottle. The price of this bottle is $42.99 and it would last a full 5 weeks, which is a much larger commitment. For this reason, many people choose to buy the small bottle. But if you consume something like scotch regularly, the much larger bottle, at $24.57 per liter, is a much better bargain. But why stop there? Most liquor stores will offer a discount if you buy things by the case. A local store where I shop will take 10% off for a case of 6. But why do they do this? Well, when you think about it, they are really in the business of moving product. They make their money when they sell a product and then replenish their inventory, not when they have an item sitting on the shelves. Items sitting on the shelves only end up costing them money, and so they will pass that extra cost along to you. And then there's packaging. The smaller an item is, the larger the fraction of the total cost that will be associated with packaging. But back to the bulk purchase. If I buy this way, I will pay $232.14 for a case of scotch, which will last for a full year. This is a huge commitment, right? Sure. But it reduces the cost of something I will definitely be consuming down to $22.11 per liter. This is a significant discount to the $31.99 per liter I'd be paying for the small bottle each time. One might be tempted to say, but think about all the money that you could be putting into an investment if you didn't do this. Pick your favorite investment, whether it's bonds, stocks, gold, silver, whatever. Is buying the large case of scotch really the wrong thing to do? Let's dig into the details. Here's what the cash flow situation looks like for two different scenarios. In the first, I buy the case of scotch that will last 26 weeks. In the latter, I buy a small bottle every 2 weeks as I finish the one in my liquor cabinet. You'll note that the total spend for the bulk purchase is $232, and the total spend for the one bottle at a time method is $336. So I'm spending much less money for the case than for the individual bottles. But I am giving something up, right? Absolutely. I'm committing extra money today into an item that will sit in the basement when I could be taking that extra money and buying an investment like gold and silver, right? I've done a net present value calculation to see how quickly an investment would need to appreciate in order to make the bulk purchase a bad idea. It turns out to be a 3.1% per week return that's required. Let's go through an illustration so that I can show you how this works. Let's take the initial $232 I would have spent on the case of scotch in week 0 and put it in a magic bank account that appreciates by 3.17% per week. This could literally be a bank account with interest payments of 3.17% per week, a stock that increases 3.17% per week, or a commodity like gold or silver that go up by 3.17% per week. In week 0, I start with the investment being worth $232. I don't get any interest immediately, but I do need to withdraw or sell to $23.99 to purchase my small bottle of scotch. This will leave me with a lower balance when I reach the second week, but I will have enjoyed some scotch in the meantime. Once I reach week number 2, my investment is worth $208.15 because I sold some of it to buy a small bottle of scotch. Now, however, my investment increases by $13.20, which is my assumed 3.17% weekly rate of return over 2 weeks. I take this money and buy another small bottle of scotch and sell some more of my investment to cover the additional money needed. So you can see that every week I'll either have a smaller bank account balance, fewer shares of stock, or a smaller stack of silver because I need to sell some of it to cover what is needed to buy the small scotch bottles. On and on this process goes for a full half a year. After 26 weeks, I find that I've drawn my investment balance down to zero and have managed to purchase the same amount of scotch that I would have enjoyed over the previous 26 weeks had I made the initial bulk purchase of 6 large bottles. This is basically what the discounted cash flow calculation means. It's nothing magic. It just tells you what your opportunity cost is for spending money now if there is an investment vehicle available that has a given rate of return. And now here's the punchline. If I had an investment available that returned 3.17% per week after tax that was guaranteed, then and only then would I be justified in buying only one small bottle every 2 weeks instead of making a very large purchase immediately and keeping a hoard of scotch in my basement. 3.17% per week is over 400% per year, and this is an after-tax. So by buying half a year's supply of scotch immediately instead of making many small purchases, what I've done is I've given myself the investment equivalent of a 400% after-tax rate of return. And this is absolutely guaranteed. Why is it guaranteed? Well, because I already know that I'll be using the scotch, so I've guaranteed consumption. Plus, I already know in advance what my cost is going to be. Honestly though, there are additional benefits that I'm not even showing here. For example, over the course of 6 months, the price of scotch is likely to go up, and so the 400% annualized rate of return is a real inflation-adjusted return and not a nominal return. So let this sink in for a moment. How many investments do you know of that will guarantee a rate of return of 400% per year? Would you ever be justified in buying a small bottle at a time so as to have some money left over to invest? Now I used scotch as an example. Maybe you don't like scotch. Maybe you like bourbon or vodka. The math will still work. Maybe you don't drink alcohol at all. What are some other items that you could try this strategy with? Well, anything that you know that you'll be consuming at a fairly regular rate that stores fairly well could be a good choice. Think about toiletries, such as soap, toothpaste, or razor blades. These are items where you can get a substantial discount for purchasing in bulk, and they last virtually forever. You can do this with paper products like stationery or paper towels. Baby supplies are a good idea. You might also go for other items such as light bulbs, aluminum foil, cereal, canned goods. Just about any consumable with a long shelf life would work well with this strategy. The main message is this: if you use something regularly and it stores well, then buy it in bulk. This will be a better use of your money than just about any investment that you'll be able to find, primarily because it's absolutely safe, it is guaranteed, and it will be the largest return on your money that you'll be able to find just about anywhere. So please, if you haven't done so already, check out the book link that I posted. There are many lessons in that book that are well worth considering.